Good morning, students. We are learning water resource engineering and hydrology. We are starting to discussing about runoff and hydrographic analysis. We'll start this chapter with the first word, that is runoff. So, what is runoff? Runoff is defined as the portion of the precipitation which is not getting evaporated. It is the one of the important component of our hydrological cycle. It represents the output from the catchment in particular unit time, and the runoff of a catchment area in any specified period is the total quantity of water that draining into the stream or into the reservoir. So runoff can come from two sides. The first by natural process and by human activity. Well, how it occurs? So the most familiar type of natural runoff, that is snow melt. Now mountains that cannot absorb the water from a heavy snowfall that produce the runoff that turns into the streams or the rivers or the lakes. Well, also glaciers, snow and rain all contribute to the natural runoff. Also, this natural runoff can also occur as the eroded soil that carried the various bodies of water. Even also some toxic chemicals that enters the waterway through the natural processes such as the volcanic eruptions, okay, that can also cause the natural runoff. Well, toxic gases released by volcanoes eventually turn into the water or sometimes turn into the soil as the precipitation. Well, if we talk about the human activities, runoff from the human activities comes from two different places. The first, that is point source, and non-point source. Now what are the sources? Well, for the point source, pollution is the source that empties directly into a waterway. This might include a pipe from specific sewage treatment plant, factories, or even from the residential side. While regulations determine what type of runoff and how much the industries are allowed to release their chemicals or the chemicaled water into the streams. So these regulations vary by region to region, states and the nations. Well, if we talk about the non-point sources, so the pollutions where the runoff does not go directly into the waterway. So those are the non-point sources. So this can be a large urban or suburban or the rural areas. In these areas, rainwater or the chemicals, those comes into the local streams. Runoff from non-point source also includes lawn fertilizers, car exhaust, and even spilled gasolines from the cars. Okay, so this is how runoff can occur, by the natural process or by some human activities also. Well, this runoff is having three different types. So let's talk about the types of runoff. Okay, so runoff have three major types. First, surface runoff. Now talking about the surface runoff is the flow of water that occurring on the ground surface when the excess rainwater, storm water, melt water or some other sources can no longer sufficiently infiltrate into the soil. This can occur when the soil is saturated by water to the full capacity and the rain those arrives more quickly than the soil can absorb. So if the rain intensity is high at such place, such kind of surface runoff may occur. Well, surface runoff often occurs because the impervious area. This do not allow the water to soak into the ground. While surface runoff is a major component of the water cycle, it is the primary agent of soil erosion by water, the land area producing runoff that drains to a common point that is called as the drainage basin. We'll discuss about drainage basin later on. Let's move on to the next type of runoff, that is the subsurface flow, or we can say the interflow. Well, a portion of the precipitation that infiltrates into the surface soil runs as a subsurface runoff and reaches the streams and the rivers. This water is known as the subsurface runoff or the interflow. It occurs more rapidly than the base flow, but typically slowly than the surface runoff. In some cases, interflow may be as important as the surface runoff for the forecasting rapid rises in the stream channel. Okay. Now, in fact, the regions with the high infiltration rates and steep terrain, the interflow may be the dominant process by which the streams react quickly to the rainfall, or we can say the snow melt. Well, talking about the groundwater, or we can say the base flow, it is the portion of precipitation which percolates down after the infiltration and joins the groundwater reservoir, which is ultimately connected to the ocean. While groundwater is the water that found underground in cracks and spaces in the soils, sand, or we can say the rocks. Where the water has filled these spaces is the phreatic saturated zone. Okay, groundwater is stored in the ground and it moves slowly through the layers, or we can say the zones of soil, sand, and rocks, or all in we can say the aquifer. Okay, so groundwater are always stored, or we can say it can slowly move through these layers. Well, the rate of groundwater flow that depends on permeability and the hydraulic head. Okay, so these are the types of runoff. Now let's discuss some of the factors that affecting the runoff. Well, the runoff from the drainage basin or the catchment area of a natural stream that depends on several factors that are climatic factors and physiographic factors. Now first let's discuss about the climatic factors. The first one, that is the type of precipitation. The precipitation may occur either in the form of rain or the snow. If the precipitation occur in the form of rain, it will immediately produce the runoff. But if the precipitation occurs in the form of snow, it will produce the runoff much later, because it has to be converted into the water form and then after it may move easily. The next factor, that is the rain intensity. Well, if the intensity of rainfall is more, the corresponding runoff will be more. And if the intensity of the rainfall is low, the corresponding runoff will be obviously low. The third, duration of rainfall. Well, a longer duration rain may produce considerable runoff. If the duration of rainfall is quite small, the runoff may not occur due to the infiltration, or we can say the interception. While talking about distribution of rainfall, a greater areal extent of the rainfall over the drainage basin and also the rainfall for a longer duration would produce the greater runoff. If rainfall occurs at the upstream of the outlet, runoff takes time to reach the outlet and the peak runoff. Well, on the other hand, we can say if the rainfall occurs close to the outlet, runoff is quick and the higher, because directly it converted into the runoff. The fifth one, that is the direction of storm movement. Well, if The storm moves upstream of the outlet. Runoff at the outlet occurs slowly as much later time. But if the storm occurs near to the outlets, runoff is quick and with a higher magnitude. While talking about soil moisture deficiency, runoff is greatly affected by the soil moisture condition. If the soil moisture condition is quite low before the rain occurs, most of the rainfall is lost as the infiltration, and as a result runoff will be low. If the soil moisture condition is quite high, the rainfall produce high runoff. There are some other climatic factors also, such as a wind velocity, temperature, atmospheric pressure, humidity, also radiation and the vapor pressure. Well, higher temperature and the higher wind velocity cause the more losses due to the evaporation. Well, hence it reduces the runoff. If the temperature is low, the ground is saturated and frozen. It gives the rise to the greater runoff. On the other hand, the greater humidity decreases the evaporation and the transpiration losses. And such thing will enhance the runoff. The variation of the pressure in the atmosphere that helps the movement of the storm that causing the rainfall. Now, if the direction of the storm is same as the direction of flow in the drainage basin, then the water will remain in the basin for the lesser period and hence the runoff will be produced in the short duration. Thus, these factors affect the losses from the drainage basin and therefore it also affects the runoff. If the losses are more, runoff will be less, and if losses are less, runoff will be more. So this works as a vice versa. Okay, so these all are the factors, the climatic factors that affect the runoff, that is from drainage basin. While talking about the physiographic factors, the size of the basin. Well, in general, the larger the drainage basin, greater will be the runoff, and the size of the catchment has the finite effect on the runoff. So more the area, more will be the runoff. Now if we talk about the shape of the basin, a drainage basin may be either fan shaped or fern shaped. If the catchment area is small and fern shaped, then the runoff will be low. But if the catchment area is large and the fan shaped, the runoff will be more. In the fan shaped drainage basin, all the tributaries of a stream are of comparable length, and hence runoff from each tributary reaches almost simultaneously. However, in the fern leaf basin, the time of concentration is more since the discharge is distributed over the long period. While the next is the topography of the basin. If the ground slope is flat and it consists the depression, the runoff will be low. But if the ground slope of the catchment is steep, the runoff will be more. So if slope is more, velocity of the surface runoff or the overland flow is more and infiltration will be less. So the runoff generated by the rainfall quickly arrives at the outlet that producing more runoff peak. Talking about the soil characteristics of the basin, if the basin area consisting of rocky or the clay soil, the runoff will be more. Again, if the soil characteristics of the basin is sandy, the runoff will be low as the loss of infiltration. Again, if the soil characteristics of the basin is sandy, the runoff will be low and the loss of infiltration is more. As here the loss of infiltration is more. Next factor, that is the geological condition of the catchment. So if the basin area consisting of faults or the fissures or the cracks, the water losses will be more and the runoff will be low. Also, cultivation and vegetation cover affect the runoff. So as if the basin area consists of more cultivated areas or the forest areas, the runoff will be low. And the last factor, that is the drainage network. The pattern of the various tributaries, normally known as the drainage network. The drainage pattern will affect the drainage of the surface flow. In each case, the draining time will differ and it will affect the infiltration, and thus indirectly it also affects the runoff. The characteristics of the drainage network may be judged from order of the stream, or we can say the stream density and the drainage density. Okay, these all terms we will discuss later, but in this lecture we will conclude with these topics till factors affecting the runoff. So I hope students you understand whole the topic of runoff thoroughly. Okay, thank you so much students for your kind attention. I will see you in the next lecture.